All right, today we're going to dive into this really powerful piece of short fiction that honestly feels like it could be happening right now. It's this incredible story about quiet justice, about hidden power, and really about what happens when the one person nobody ever notices turns out to be the most dangerous one in the room. Let's get into it.
And this line right here, this is pretty much the entire engine of the story. It sets up this fascinating idea that real, true power doesn't come from being the loudest person or the most seen. No, it comes from being completely and utterly underestimated. And that's a theme we are going to see play out in a really devastating way. Okay, so first things first, we've got to meet our main character. But as we're about to find out, the guy the town thinks they know is a whole different person from the one who's been living in the shadows all this time. So picture this guy. He's been around for 2 decades in this kind of dead-end town, and everyone just knows him as Greasy Silas. He's the man defined by the oil on his hands. And people don't just see a mechanic, they see someone simple. They talk down to him, they're dismissive, and he just kind of takes it, letting them believe he's a total nobody. And this right here really captures the heart of the story, this huge gap between what people see and what's actually real. On one side, you've got the town's view of him, this condescending caricature, but on the other side, you see the truth. He's a digital ghost, an architect of ruin. This massive difference between the man everyone sees and the force no one can, well, that's what makes this whole thing so compelling. Every great story needs that one moment, right? That spark that just lights the whole thing on fire. And in this case, that spark is this just shocking act of arrogance that forces our hidden hero to finally make a move. So what happens is, it's not just some accident. Oh no, it is a statement. The town's golden boy, the son of the most powerful guy around, he does this. And he's not ashamed, he's laughing. It's just this clear, blatant show of impunity. Like he truly believes he is completely above any and all consequences. And this timeline just lays it all out so perfectly how corrupt this whole system is. I mean, before the sirens even stop wailing, the problem is just solved. A wad of cash makes it all go away. Justice isn't served, it's bought. The message couldn't be clearer. If you have enough money and power, reality is whatever you say it is. And that's the key, isn't it? It's all about their mindset. To the developer and his son, this wasn't a crime. It wasn't a violation of someone's safety and home. It was just a bad night, a little hiccup you can erase with money. It shows you they fundamentally believe they are, and always will be, completely untouchable.
All right, this is it. This is the moment the whole story just pivots on a dime. This is where that Greasy Silas persona starts to crack, and we finally see the true identity that's been hiding underneath all along. Just one date. That's all it takes. And boom, everything changes. This single detail tells us there was a whole other life before the garage, a past that just doesn't line up at all with the man we thought we knew. It makes you ask, wait a minute, who was this guy back in 2004? Well, the answer is pretty chilling, actually. Turns out he wasn't fixing trucks. He was fixing problems for people who operate way, way in the shadows. He was a digital ghost, an expert at navigating the unseen world of data to systematically and completely dismantle his targets. This isn't just a mechanic we're talking about. He is a weapon. So that leads to the big question, the one the entire story has been building up to. After 20 years of being invisible, of just quietly watching, what happens when someone finally crosses a line? Suddenly, our expectations have totally flipped. This isn't a story about a powerless victim anymore. It's about impending, calculated revenge. And now, we get to see that superpower in action. There's no big confrontation, no dramatic fight scene. Nope. Just the quiet, methodical execution of a very, very specific set of skills. I think this is what makes his power so incredibly chilling. It's not loud and explosive like the developer's son. It's silent, it's precise, and it's all done from the shadows. The entire downfall of a powerful family is orchestrated in less time than it takes to get through a workday, all from the back of a greasy garage. And when you break it down, the process of their ruin is just terrifyingly methodical. He doesn't need a gun. He wields information. He uncovers every dirty little secret, every crime, every shortcut the developer ever took. And then he just packages it all up and sends it to the one person who can bring the entire empire crashing down.
So what happens? The result isn't just a fine, it's not a slap on the wrist. No, it is total, absolute annihilation. The family's source of power, the factory, is gone. Their symbol of status, their mansion, gone. Their reputation is completely shattered. In just a few hours, they have been utterly and completely erased. Okay, so what about the aftermath? What happens after the dust settles? Well, the end of the story explores what's left and establishes this chilling new reality in this little town. And here it is. This is the ultimate proof that his superpower works. Justice was served, but nobody knows where it came from. The townspeople, they just make up their own stories. Bad luck, karma, whatever. They never, not for 1 second, suspect the quiet mechanic down the street. His invisibility, his greatest weapon, is perfectly intact. He just goes back. He melts right back into his old persona. The architect of ruin vanishes, and Greasy Silas is back. His work is done. The message has been sent. And he just goes back to waiting and watching and fixing trucks. And the story leaves us with this one last thought. And man, it is a haunting one. This isn't a story about spooky ghosts in a graveyard. It's about a much more terrifying kind of ghost. The kind that can get into every single part of your digital life and, with just a few keystrokes, make you disappear. It really makes you wonder, how many invisible people do we all walk past every single day? And what kind of hidden superpowers are they just waiting to use?